Hey, welcome to the next episode of the Perry Homes Podcast. I'm Steve Peterson, the president of Perry Homes, and I've got my co-host who I love working with. It's Trevor Taylor. He's the director of marketing at Perry Homes. And then we're super excited about our guest today, Tyson Auger. Auger?
Auger's right.
Tyson Auger. He's has a really interesting background. Tyson is one of our division managers. So he's what we call in the home site, he's on our executive management team. But he's got some real interesting background with Tyson, if you could start out, why don't you talk about your degree? Because I got a degree in political science, which, right, I couldn't even get a job out of school.
Yeah.
But you have a really cool construction degree, so if you'll talk about that a little bit, and then your experience as a superintendent, and then we'll kind of jump from there. But if you talk about those two to start out with.
Absolutely. So I'm maybe one of those rare cases where I get the degree and I stick with the degree.
Yeah, so, it was actually meaningful.
It stayed with me. So I got a degree from Brigham Young University in their construction management program there, which was a great program. I graduated in 2011. So along with that, it kind of paired. I always use my hands. It's all
we do too.
So that's fine.
It paired that with a business minor as well. So
I didn't know that
program.
Part. Yeah. Oh, that's a good way to team those up.
Yeah, awesome way to kind of pair those. It's obviously by choice. You got to take a couple more classes and things, but they go hand in hand.
Yeah,
you got to put those hand in hand if you're going to be in construction as well.
Right.
So awesome program. Loved the guys I got to know there, the faculty and everything else, and the experience overall was just very beneficial. So going along with the education side, in construction you learn so much on going to school, hitting the books, but you also have to get the applicable side of actually being in the field. So
got it.
During that whole time I was also working for different companies, an electrical company, and also in some real estate right before that as well. So got to do a little bit of both. You learn from both sides.
And then so what? So you graduated. Tell us what happened then after you graduated. Did you come right to Perry?
What did actually. Yeah. So I actually got kind of headhunted a little bit from Perry, and so I got a call from Jeff Taylor, who was the previous president.
Yeah.
Called me up, said, "Hey, I want to interview. We're hiring right now." So I came in. Went through a good interview and kind of got hired on the spot. So been with them ever since for about 13 years now.
Ah, great.
That's awesome.
Love it.
Yeah.
Tell us, where did you work as a superintendent? Where were you working?
Yeah, so I started off being trained by some of the guys who are still with us today. Some of them have been along for 42 years and another one for 20 plus years. So
Lance and Tony?
Right. Tony and also Kevin.
Kevin.
Worked with both of those ones.
Kevin Wardle. Okay.
Kevin Wardle. So they kind of started off training me a little bit and getting my feet wet on as far as how Perry does things. But I started out in a community called Western Springs, which is out in Riverton area. And I was kind of joking the other day, I wish these prices were still the same, but I remember it saying from the 150s.
In Riverton.
Riverton. So
you should have bought 10 of those.
I should have got a whole bunch of those while I could have. Wow. Different time for sure, but that's where I started. And then, the focus was always to get me more into Utah County is where I live.
Gotcha.
And kind of been in Utah County, closing out subdivisions and opening up new ones as they've come along. So as a superintendent, I got really used to running multiple jobs in multiple cities all at the same time and got a really good experience getting to know all the people that are involved in building a house. So,
hey, awesome. I know this question we could talk about it for an hour, but as a superintendent, what are some of the things that you did to deliver a really good home at the end? Just talk just a little bit inside kind of the life of a super. I mean, we want to get to more of your kind of duties now, but just give us a little insight into that. Yeah,
the life of a super, great question. It all starts with details.
Gotcha.
As you're starting a house, there's got to be a communication from a lot of different people to be able to say, hey, hit the start button, we're going to dig this hole and we're going to move forward. So as a superintendent, you got to be able to compile the sales side with the field side and get the right team underneath you to kind of make sure that the house is going to come together and make your client happy in the end. You know, you're building for your company, but you're also building for your client, and you want them to have a good home, a good place to raise their family. So As a superintendent, you got to balance all that. You got to figure it out.
Sure. Well, I love it, Tyson. I've often, when I've trained superintendents for 20 years, and I will tell them, look, you need to know construction for sure. You're building a house, but you have to manage your information.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I would tell the guys, you're probably equally information manager as construction manager. Mm-hmm. So that's interesting you said that you have to manage the information.
Yeah, it's a huge piece of it. And if you have the wrong information, you build the wrong house. So.
Yeah. Hey, so let's jump, just kind of for everyone to know, Tyson has taken a track that's pretty uncommon for people to get into kind of at the executive level in a home building company. People will come from the land side and end up in the management, or they'll come from the finance side. For someone to come up through the construction side, which Tyson and I are a little bit of an anomaly, we both came up through the construction side. Can you speak to that? You've been on the management team for a year,
3 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was that like coming from the field? Well, why don't you explain what you do as a what's your title? I mean, sure, we work together all the time.
Yeah. Well, right now it's division manager, unless we're going to change it.
Division manager. Okay, I don't know. So kind of explain how that worked, and then what you do as division manager.
Yeah. So as I kind of came from the field, which is unique, no doubt about it. It also brings a whole nother perspective.
Yeah.
Right. So you have this boots on the ground kind of feel.
Yeah, love that.
This is actually how it happens. And now to bring that up into management, I feel like is just a huge benefit to not only us as a company, but moving forward, giving perspective, and then becoming better, right? So, what I do now is basically pairing what I used to do, building houses. We still do build houses. I just manage it, different superintendents as they build the houses, and I make sure,
Gotcha.
and I'm a
Gotcha.
help me to them and make sure that we can talk about the issues that come up and we can problem solve. And then you're pairing it with the sales side, right? So now there's sales agents that I'm also over and releasing homes and helping them understand the correct pricing of the homes and where they should be, and then executing those contracts as well. So you kind of got to marry the two and manage information as it comes in. So
Gotcha.
Well, it's
Thanks.
cool. It's cool to see a lot of our division managers come up through sales.
Yeah.
And then Tyson over here coming up through construction, and like you said, you got to marry the two, and it's cool to see that in a management role as you've come up. So that's
thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun. So
good. Well, Tyson, tell us about one of the areas that you manage, mainly Beacon Hill. Can you tell us about that one?
Absolutely. So Beacon Hill is a community that we've been in Highland, Utah for a really long time now. I think it goes back about 18 years. It could be even longer than that.
What?
So there's actually kind of a time lapse you can go through with some of our older communities and still see the same house plans that have been very successful house plans, but now they're dated.
For 18 years.
They're now dated, and you can kind of go through it. So it's kind of good that way. But great community right in Highland, with hopefully some future phases coming soon. So we're on a phase right now with about six or seven buildable lots left for buyers coming in and wanting to do a little bit of customization, not full customization, but we offer a great variety of upgrades that they can do.
Come to Tyson quick. We got 6 lots left.
We got 6
Come
lots
to Tyson
left.
quickly.
So it's been a great community. It's beautiful. We have some great footage, drone footage of it, so you can see the views that we're actually offering to our clients. And really a fun community, fun project.
Awesome. Thanks.
Very good. Hey, just before we get to Trevor's last question, that I love his final question all the time, what's kind of one of your takeaways that you think would be different working at Perry Homes? What makes Perry Homes different? Not Trevor's going to ask more about from a customer perspective, but from the inside, from an employee perspective, what do you think is different about working at Perry Homes?
From where I've worked before and where I work now, and my colleagues outside of Perry Homes, there is a difference, and I can feel that, and I think that comes with the longevity of the employees. I've been with Perry for 13 years, and obviously I've seen a growth pattern there. But there's guys who have been here for, it's a 50-year-old company, and some of them have been there for the full 50 or 51 years.
Crazy. That blows my mind.
So it is wild, but they take care of us. You know, there's
gotcha,
a reason why we're
Okay.
sticking around. There's a reason why we're here. There's a reason why we're successful, and we just want to continue that success there. So, you know, my colleagues, every time I get with them, they're like, "Oh, you're still with Perry?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." It's one of those things.
They might have been at 2 or 3 or 4
Yeah,
different companies.
a lot of them have been with a lot of different companies, or even changed out of the construction field all in general,
Right.
and now they're coming back to it, or they're just, hey, this is our career path now. So, you know, there's a part of it where you got to love what you do. You got to love you know, spending that kind of time and engaging in building a house and providing a house for a family. And that is what I love to do. So
Gotcha.
that's why I'm here.
Thanks, Tyson.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
from all that time building these homes, why should someone buy a Perry home?
You know, I feel like we've been perfecting that process for a long time. We're not perfect. We're going to do our best, but we have a great subcontractor base who we're loyal to, and they know that, you know, they want to build a house for us. They don't want to come to us. They want to work for us. They know that we're going to pay our bills. And with that, there comes pride in the house, a good quality home. And then we want to provide that community that's going to be a quality community that's going to last for a long time. So from being on the ground and seeing how it's actually done to now being in the office and running how it's actually done and seeing that, I think we just continue to improve and build a quality home. So
Great.
yeah.
Gotcha. Hey, let me on a personal note. So, Tyson and I work together every day, and we actually, the three of our offices are similar. So we really get along well and do it. But on a personal note, I've been here at Perry Homes for just coming up on 8 weeks. When I get into a pinch, I go to Tyson often. Just in the last few days, I've had him help me with contracts and signings and change orders. So thank you on a personal level. Thank you for welcoming me to Perry and for all of the help. And it's been the people here, Tyson, really are what make the difference. So so thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Like you said, we got to buckle up.
Yeah, it's time to go. We're growing, so it's fun. And thank you. That concludes this episode of the Perry Homes podcast. So on behalf of Trevor and myself, thank you for listening to another episode of the Perry Homes podcast.